After I killed them, I dropped the gun in the Thames, washed the residue off my hands in the bathroom of a Burger King, and walked home to await instructions. Shortly thereafter, the instructions came through. Get to Bruges. I didn't even know where Bruges was. It's in Belgium.
Welcome to Heart Standard, Bruges edition. I'm Craig Cairns, that's Joel Sked, and we're just going to talk about Bruges, what there is to do here, what Hearts fans can expect. We'll then talk a little bit about Thursday's opponents, Cercle Brugge, after your conversation with Scott Coyne the other day. We will talk about the format, the tournament, where what results will leave Hearts where and that kind of thing. And then I went down to the stadium earlier today, so we'll kind of talk about that. But yeah, first of all, Joel, how are you enjoying Bruges, and what are your first impressions of it?
Very nice. It's very wet. That's the last 2 days.
Familiar weather.
Yes, very familiar weather. Yes, it was. I think it's really it's been really enjoyable. We've just had us two, and then Barry and Robert from the Sun. We just had a wander around. Went to a bar that's got lots of brass hanging off the roof.
There's a reason we went there.
That's the reason we went there. Yeah, we walked about 20 minutes to get there. So no, it's been really good. It's just I've heard good things about the city before coming, and it's just one of those where it's just easy to walk around. And I suppose Hearts fans who went to Pilsen, I think there'll be similarities in the fact that everything's quite condensed. It's all walkable. Okay, the stadium's probably a bit further out than it was in Pilsen, which was really, really close. But with 3,000 to 4,000 Hearts fans descending on Bruges, I think a lot of Hearts fans could be bumping into each other. And I think a lot of we were talking about it. There's a lot of walking tours. I think tourists are going to get in for a surprise. I think we were speaking to a pal in an Irish bar earlier, and he was saying that the bar behind the staff behind the bar, their kind of faces dropped when they were being informed that there's going to be 3,500 Scottish football fans coming this weekend. This week. But I think fans will love it. It's a UNESCO thing. It's a UNESCO heritage site. So all the pubs have been into, they've all been very different, but they're all quite weirdly shaped, and they're really close. There's all
the buildings are the same. But I mean, things have been renovated and developed and things like that, obviously. But the buildings are pretty much all the same as they were hundreds of years ago, pretty much.
Yeah, absolutely. And you can see that when you go into places like that place, the bar we were just in, like really low roof. You can barely move.
Toilet out the back.
Yes.
You've got to go outside to get to the toilet.
Yeah, but no, there's from my experience so far, loads of places, loads of nice places to eat. It's not overly expensive, which is good. There's a pub right next to my hotel, which we paid like £2.75 for a 300 milliliter 350 beer. So yeah, it's really good, and we'll get to see more of it now. And you can see there's quite a few fans on our flight to Bruges yesterday. We had a nightmare trying to get from Bruges to Charleroi to Bruges because the passport control was ridiculous. But you start to see more and more Hearts fans kind of arrive and build up. Obviously, I seen a few last night. Got chatting to a few. So I think it's going to be shaped. I think tomorrow, Wednesday, and Thursday, I think it's going to be busy but fun.
It's one of those places where just about every corner you turn takes your breath away. Just the scenery of it all, and no wonder everybody's kind of stopping to take pictures every 5 minutes. We actually tried to get quite a scenic backdrop here. You can see the clock tower just there, but we were limited to what seats we could sit in here because so many of them are wet. So we hope to have a better backdrop. But one of the things I wonder how it's going to happen, Hearts fans, I mean lots of football fans, not just Hearts fans, they like to have a place to congregate. And we're not entirely sure where. There's one square that seems to be getting set up with some shows, but they're not set up yet. That's kind of close to the train station, I think. And then, like you see, one of them's behind us here. There's another one like that not too far from here. They've got Christmas markets on them, so they would ordinarily be places where Hearts fans would maybe congregate. But yeah, do you think it'll be that other one that I mentioned, or do you think they'll be scattered about?
The one around around near my hotel, that's where they were building stuff up on. There's loads of space there, and I think that's on the way out of the city centre to the ground. I think it's on the right side for it. So I think that could be one. There's we just walked past down from the canal. There's a wee bit of space around there for people to hang out. But again, do you want to be hanging out beside a canal when you're drinking all day? I'm not sure you do. So it's obviously weather will be dependent as well. So there's plenty of places to like cram into. But that's the thing with the pubs, like everywhere. All the stuff that's out in the open is the restaurants, where you probably have to look a wee bit harder to find a pub. And there's loads, but they're just kind of you can walk past them without realising they're there.
And we already there's just so many as well that like it sometimes is good to just go on Google and find one that sort of suits you a little bit, doesn't it? And we were in an Irish bar earlier, and unsurprisingly, it's already been commandeered by Hearts fans. They've got a flag up and everything.
So the Edmonton Hearts Supporters Club, I think they're there, and Corrigan as well. So it's good. And word of warning, the beer is strong. I woke up with a very fuzzy head this morning, and I wasn't going too tonto yesterday either.
Yeah, like a lot of them. I mean, there's some that are like your standard 5, but most of them are 8-9% and stuff.
Yeah, oh yeah,
it's dangerous.
But you used to, like me, I'm a Philistine, so I'm used to drinking Tennent's, which is 4%, and that gets me really hungover, so or gives me a headache. So yeah, adding an extra 1.5% on top of that it's not great. But it's not, obviously that'll be folk will be wanting to enjoy themselves. But it's just a city where I would just recommend just getting up in the morning, just having a wander around, just walking around, because like. We took a walk out to that pub, but so glad that we did, because just bits of it's just
so bits we wouldn't have seen otherwise.
Yeah, exactly. You're probably just best just walking about, and don't look at Google Maps, and you'll eventually find you'll find your way. You'll find
just walking circles around the city. Cercle Brugge.
Yes.
Thursday's opponents. Or is it Brugge? Cercle Brugge. It's spelled Brugge, so I don't know whether it's pronounced Brugge as well. I'm confused by this bilingual nation. But you spoke to Scott Coyne of the Belgian podcast recently. I think that's what it's called, Belgian Football Podcast. Apologies. What were your main takeaways for essentially the game and the opponents that Hearts are going to be facing?
Probably two main takeaways. They are: this is a game where Hearts should be thinking of getting 3 points and winning. Missing Kevin Denke, that was always going to be the case, but having spoken to him and seeing their struggles, I do think this is a game. It's a great opportunity. Again, use that word, opportunity, for Hearts to.
Hearts have blown a few opportunities recently.
Yeah, we have. It's a great opportunity to record a big away result in Europe and give 3,500 Hearts fans something to cheer, which will be huge, and take a step forward and get into the next round and wherever we're placed, which we'll come on to talk about. But so there's that. I think we should be seeing this as a great opportunity to win, but also I found interesting just the dynamics of Cercle Brugge, and that they're not taking this as serious as a league.
Yeah, I did find that. I mean, they seem to have sort of rolled back a little bit on that after the Vikinger result, but yeah, that was interesting to me, and it could play in Hearts' favour.
Yeah, especially because they're off the back of 2 defeats in the league. They got beat 5-0 by Anderlecht and 1-0 by Standard Liège, either side of the international break, and they are 14th, and it's a 16-team league, so I think their focus will be getting up the league table, especially to get points before Kevin Denke goes, who he's suspended for Thursday night's match, but they have him until the middle of December, I think it is. So that's where they were focusing. I found that interesting, found that encouraging, but also the dynamic with the manager, and just how basically he was getting told from above who he can kind of play.
Well, he was told that certain players weren't allowed to travel.
Yeah, I was like, well, that's very Vladimir Romanov-esque. So I found it really enlightening on Cercle Brugge in terms of how they're going to, in terms of what to expect from them. I kind of knew already, because Kilmarnock had already played them. I seen them against Kilmarnock earlier on in the Europa League qualifiers, and read some articles around analysis of that game, and they're a very direct team. I think Barry, he spoke to Derek McInnes and like read his piece, and McInnes said there's just not. He was expecting a typical European side, but they're not. They're a team that will go back to front, and they'll go back to front a lot. Which I wonder if they might tweak if they might have to tweak or change, because Kevin Denke is their main man, and they've not got anyone to replace him. They've not found out. They've not found someone to come in and.
But at the same time, if they've watched Hearts, would they not maybe think that? I mean, maybe they fancy themselves beating Hearts' press, assuming Hearts set up the way they have done under Neil Critchley in previous matches. It seems like teams that want to pass out from the back have struggled against Hearts. I wonder whether like a long ball team might spook Hearts a wee bit.
Might do. And I think see if Denke was playing, I would be a wee bit. I would a wee bit more. I'd be a lot more concerned about Hearts' chances, just because of that. It's like they'll go back to front and they'll put pressure on the kind of Hearts defence and look to turn our defence. And sometimes we have struggled up against physical strikers. Speaking to a boy in the pub last night when I was expressing my love for Kyle Vassell and talking about how I would love to get him in January and just something different to Shankland, and he wasn't having any of it. And I understand there'll be fans that feel that way. But
did you not say that about Jordan White a few weeks before that?
Yeah, I mean,
we were at a real low at that point.
Yeah, we were. But Vassell, I think they'll take Vassell over Jordan White. But Vassell's always given Hearts troubles, and Denke would be, because he's strong, he's quick, he can hold the ball and he can score off either side. Taking him out, they don't have anyone that is a natural replacement.
Yeah.
They've got loads of guys that can play wide. They can got loads of guys that can come in at the pitch, run with the ball, but they don't have a focal point replacement, and they're going to have to wait to January to get them. So I think that it becomes less stressful for the defence not having that, and I just wonder how they'll look to if they will look to tweak the way they play.
I noticed some similarities with Hearts this season when you were speaking to Scott Coyne the other day, struggling to juggle the European football with the domestic football, a bit of a yo-yo club. Did you think yourself when you were saying, like, it's in some aspects he's describing Hearts here?
I've never described Hearts as a yo-yo club, but in terms of in the league, like bouncing from
Hearts are a wee bit of a yo-yo club.
I know. But there's context required for that. But yeah, just in terms of I think he meant yo-yo club is in
you're finishing higher up the league and then lower down the league. But even so, that applies to Hearts for quite a long time now. I mean, it's finished third and then struggle the next season. That was quite common for Hearts.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, so I mean, this is the fact this is the first time we're in Europe 3 times in a row. Well, it's both an achievement and an embarrassment. So yeah, there were aspects of what he said where it was there were similarities. He talked about the signings and then having to rotate. Like Cercle Brugge would be rotating to try and get the signings. We were rotating because we couldn't win a game, so we were just trying to find any way to win. Whereas they're rotating to like kind of bleed players in. Which I think is an interesting approach. Another one is you look at the average age, you look at the age of their squad. It's all their signings bar one were between 18 and 24 in the summer. They've got at the weekend they had a 19-year-old that started as centre back. Just a lot of guys in their early 20s, teenagers or early 20s, which is, and I think that's been one of their downfalls to an extent, is inexperience or inconsistency and kind of switching off.
You seem to have a real handle on this convoluted format. So just
I'll pretend I do.
No, you seem to do. So just a couple of questions on where certain results will leave Hearts after Thursday. So we're in agreement that a win pretty much qualifies. It then depends on how much, whether it's seeded or straight through or playoff or unseeded. Yeah. I got them in the wrong order.
So essentially, at this moment in time, the 6 points we got from Dino Maminski and Ammonia, the simulations that's done, like statisticians do it, and it's done thousands of times, give Hearts at the moment 93% chance of qualification. Now Hearts should be looking at where do they want to finish in the league. So if we finish in the top 8, we go straight into the last 16. We bypass the playoff round, and then if we finish 9th to 24th, we go into the playoff round. If you finish 9th, you play the team that's 24th. If you finish 10th, you play the team that's 23rd, and so on, so on. If Hearts win on Thursday night, we should be looking. We're going to finish in the top 12, because I think, if I'm right, that if we beat Cercle Brugge and then beat Cercle Brugge, we'll go to 12 points. And I think 12 points, when predictions were made, 12 points was enough to get you into that top 8 and get you through to the last 16 of a European tournament. So. It's a big game. It's a big game for both sides. Cercle Brugge are on 4 points. They know that if they win, that same through. Hearts a point. That's us definitely through. A win, well then you're looking at a Petrol Cup game and thinking, or even Copenhagen, and just thinking, right, let's finish in the top 8 and get into the last 16. But we were talking about it earlier on with the guys, and I posed the question, what would you rather? Because if we finished between 9th and 16th, I think it's 9th and 16th, then you go into the playoff round, and there's a good chance you're getting a team that are quite weak, so you could realistically look at having at least 2 European games, whereas if you go into the last 16, it becomes a wee bit trickier. But again, if you're in the last 16, you're already seeded for the teams that are coming through, so it's really exciting. And that's not just the beer talking, it's really exciting.
No, it definitely is. I mean, I don't think a win is out of the question on Thursday, but a draw is a real possibility, and a draw will be celebrated just like that Hearts have qualified for the next round of a European tournament.
I mean, I think
it wouldn't be certain, but I reckon that fans will be celebrating that as if that sort of... People said at the outset of this tournament that 7 points was pretty much going to be enough to qualify you, other than some mad set of results where everybody finished on the same points or something like that. So yeah, I think that if Hearts get a draw on Thursday, then I think that's going to be celebrated in the way end.
Well, depends how the draw comes about, because if it's us conceding the last minute goal,
I suppose, yeah.
I don't think there'll be many celebrations, but but I think that's it. My only concern on that is, I think, looking at Cercle Brugge, it's just that where people are understandably, rightly thinking to win this, and I think people will have in their mind, we'll be seeing if a draw would be slightly disappointing. At the moment, I would be disappointed in a draw, but again, that's I think it's only once you see the 90 minutes, and then you can really judge the context whether there's a draw's a good result or not. That's
it, because we've been pleased with some defeats recently, or not pleased with the defeats, but pleased with the performances in some defeats recently.
Yeah.
So you're right, it's definitely context is a big part of it. Just to finish off, we're going to talk about the stadium a wee bit.
Yes, you went down there because it's near where you're staying. What I've heard stories about this, the Jan Bridal, especially the way end and the toilets, etc. I think you can see. I think if you don't have to look too much on Twitter to find out that, because I think Aston Villa were playing Club Bruges there.
Yeah, there was a video them slagging the toilets. Yeah,
it's like if you were in the old main stand, then the toilets were nothing compared to those. What should Hearts fans expect? And is it you said it's quite a good setup?
Yeah, I mean, it was like they had the training pitches outside as well. That's what. So like Cercle Brugge were training while I was there as well. I'm hopefully going to edit a video and put something out on it tomorrow from just my wee walk down there. But I was struck by the design of the stadium. That was the first thing. It's a very sort of brutalist structure. It's a weird design. I don't know what it looks like inside. I managed to peer in a gate and see some of the stands, but it was they also had those those heaters that they put over the pitch. They had those on as well, so my view was a wee bit restricted. But yeah, like the complex, the setup of the complex was quite nice. I think there's an Olympic swimming pool there as well. But it's not the prettiest looking stadium I've ever seen, but certainly, I don't know, it was interesting because there's part of it's painted black and green for the Cercle Brugge, and then there's part of it's black and blue for like the Club Brugge, and we had been told yesterday that there was a club shop there. The club shop just turned out to be like this hut, standalone hut, which wasn't the prettiest. It wasn't even open either. But I don't know what else.
I mean, I think the other thing I want to know is, because you've been in the city, you've been in the centre and then walked out. Would it be? It is walkable, isn't it? It's
about 40 minutes. I mean, I'd imagine there'll be people that are planning on walking to the stadium. That usually gets planned. Yeah. So from that point of view, yes, it'll be easy because you head west, you go out. There's 4 like medieval gates into the city. The one on the west is where Hearts fans will be going. It's pretty much a straight road for 40 minutes, 45 minutes, and then you turn left and it's 5 minutes in there. It's very, very easy to find. I don't know whether Hearts fans are going to try and walk down, because that's like a main road. I don't know whether Hearts fans are going to try and walk down that main road or whether anything's been agreed or whatever. But
yeah, not seen anything yet. I need to ask someone at the club if there's because they put, like, for example, Zurich, they put buses on St Gallen, they put buses on from the city centre. Florence, they advise people to get the buses that are put on from the square. But I think they were worried a wee bit of trouble. I remember walking it, and it was fine. It was just once you've been drinking all afternoon, you're just thinking, well, stuff it, we'll just walk. We'll just get a couple of cans and walk. So it sounds very much doable.
Yeah, have you got anything else to add about beautiful Bruges before we get out of here?
No, I was going to recommend some pubs, but I don't know what the names are. I just we're just going to be looking on Google Maps, or we just kind of stumbled across them. Some have got.
There's one called The Pub, which is nice.
Oh yeah, really, that was the pub is just off the main square, and it's very cosy. There's one called The Monk, which is if you want to watch live football. It's got pool tables upstairs. I think that's 6 pool tables. That's where we got chatting to a few Hearts fans last night.
Delaney's was the Irish bar.
Yeah, it was had a few Hearts fans in there, and. Yeah, I would just advise folk, just walk around, enjoy it. It's really, really nice. Watch out for bikes.
Yeah, watch out for bikes. I was offered a bike by my Airbnb host. I think I should take him up on it. Although I didn't bring a hood, I would just get absolutely soaked. But anyway, enough rambling. Thank you very much for joining us. Please check out everything at heartstandard.co.uk. Tripped over my words a couple of times. People are going to think that I'm steaming. I do have a beer in front of me. Wouldn't say I was steaming though. Subscribe if you haven't already, and we will see you all again soon.